Welcome back everybody, Boops here, and today we're going to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. I'll talk about the exclusive Switch 2 games I have, the accessories I got, and my general opinion and satisfaction with the system. The Nintendo Switch 2 is becoming a lot more common, more people are picking it up, and I thought it was time for me to give you guys some advice and tips and share my collection. Let's get started. Let's start with the games. As you can see, I have a small collection of physical Nintendo Switch 2 games. I have more games, but they're going to be digitally on the console. We'll take a look at those soon. Let's start with this pile, starting with Pokopia. This is the game card key version. Nintendo announced this with the Nintendo Switch 2. Not everyone was happy about this. I guess most people were not happy about it. I would really prefer to have the full game on the cartridge, but I do understand that it is quite expensive. And at the same time, PlayStation and other systems have been using disc keycards for years now, without much complaint or issue. So it is what it is. I do want to point out that a game keycard is better than a download code. A download code is a one-time use only, and it's stuck to your account. At least with a game keycard, you can still resell this. You can share it with a friend. So I do kind of like what they did with this. I do like that they kind of addressed the elephant in the room, instead of just kind of silently making games download only, you know? So, Pokopia, or Pokopia, however you want to pronounce it. If you've watched anything on my channel, you'll know I'm madly addicted to this game right now. Super fun, super recommended. Move on to the next one. We got Pokemon Legends ZA. I was actually a huge fan of this game. I had a lot of fun. I am a huge fan of Legends Arceus. I love that game. So this one was up my alley. I always like something new with Pokemon. And the core game was still there, so... Anyways, it's lots of fun. I still recommend it. If you want something different with Pokemon, try it out. If you're looking for a mainline Pokemon game, then obviously you know to skip it. So, next up we got Tamagotchi Plaza. This is actually the Southeast Asia version? Yes. I don't think we got a physical version in North America, so I found this on the Play Asia store. I was a fan of Tamagotchi growing up, not too much anymore, but I still like to check in and see what they have. This is a collection of mini games. Some of them are 2-player, which is fun, and then they have 2 mini games that are exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2 because they utilize the Joy-Cons mouse controls. So pretty cool collection, a lot of fun, definitely more aimed towards kids, but surprisingly fun. And lastly, for the physical collection, we have Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition. I saw an interview with CD Projekt Red where they said, quote, "Putting the entire game on the cartridge felt like the right thing to do." And I love that. I had to support them. So I went down and bought the game. I already played it on PlayStation, but I didn't play the DLC. I don't think I own the DLC on PlayStation. So this is the complete experience. It runs pretty good on the Nintendo Switch. It does tend to feel more like a mobile game than like a console game, if that makes any sense. But it still runs great. It's a lot of fun. I would be interested to see how this compares to the Steam Deck version. But still very playable, looks really good, runs really good, so. And they gave you stickers with the physical. The rest of the games are going to be downloaded internally on the Switch 2. Take a look at that. I have a little folder I made with all the Switch 2 games. We have the 4 physical games we just looked at. We also have Mario Kart World. This came with my Switch. I got the bundle pack, and I think Mario Kart World was like $25 cheaper if you bought it in the bundle pack. Mario Kart was expensive. It's like over $100. It's like 115 Canadian, something ridiculous. While other games have gone up to like $100 in price. it's way up there. I'm not going to comment too much about the game. I know it doesn't really live up to all the expectations. I still personally had a lot of fun with it, but especially considering its high price, yeah, it's a hard one to recommend, especially for Mario Kart fans. Then we also have Drag X Drive. This was a really cool surprise, or at least I thought it was a really cool surprise and a really cool idea. You're playing basketball in a wheelchair, but you're using the Nintendo Joy-Con mouse controls to do so. This is super cool. I want to share some accessories that I bought just for this game. The Joy-Cons have mouse sensors in them, the bottom there. You place them like so, and you can use them as mice. You got your click on top, but they are a little wobbly and unstable. Nintendo does give you an attachment for this, which also includes a wrist strap. This helps with mouse controls, makes it a little more stable when using it. When I was playing Drag X Drive, you're doing a lot of motion like this. So I did look online and I found some recommendations for attachments that look like this, more like a regular mouse. So you still insert your Joy-Con like so, sensor goes through there, and you have a much larger controller to hold. It's actually very nice. Like, this feels really good. The only problem I had with these is that the sensor is now raised, so it's less likely for the sensor to actually detect movement. It still works, I would say 80% of the time, but that 20% does throw off gameplay, and I think I did end up going back to these attachments. I have a Let's Play when Drag X Drive first came out, and I used these, and I also have a Let's Play when I tried these attachments. I'll leave links to everything in the description. So if you're looking at Drag X Drive and thinking about what to use, I would recommend using the Joy-Cons with the original attachments that they provide. And if you haven't seen my video, you're going to be using this Joy-Con on your lap, usually, on one of your thighs. Okay. It's probably the best place to be doing quick mouse motions. If you're super confused about what I'm talking about, go check out my Let's Play, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyways, let's move on. Last two games to mention that are digital. We got Fast Fusion. This is a pretty fast-paced, like, Wipeout style racing game. I think they had a previous version for the Switch. This is the Switch 2 edition, or Switch 2 sequel, I guess you could say. Really cool, really good graphics, lots of fun, lots of cool carts, or crafts, whatever they're called, ships. The whole point of Fast Fusion is that you can fuse ships to create hybrid ships. So really cool, really fast-paced, lots of fun. And I also threw Stardew Valley. I noticed that Stardew Valley had a free Nintendo Switch 2 edition upgrade, so I just downloaded that the other day. I haven't played Stardew Valley in a long time, but the Switch is actually where I started Stardew Valley, so my main farm and all my progress is on the Switch. I did buy it on PlayStation, but I didn't really get that far. Anyways, that's a super side note. But yeah, that's my little Switch 2 collection. We got 4 physical games and 4 digital games. Let's move on to some of the accessories I bought. As you guys can see in this video this entire time, I got the Pro Controller, the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller. I'm a huge Splatoon fan. I still get my Splatoon 3 itch here and there, and I have to have a nice controller to play Splatoon. So, really nice Pro Controller. You got your paddles underneath. Very nice, no complaints. It's everything you can ask for in a Switch Pro Controller. Also wanted to share a couple of cases that I bought. This is a case actually for the original Switch. This is my original Switch in here. I got like a D-brand skin on the Switch itself. It makes it blue. And I think these are like the neon... They're not official Splatoon Joy-Cons, but they're heavily inspired by Splatoon 2. Looks kind of crazy and wacky out of place, but... Anyways, I'm getting off subject. The reason I wanted to show you guys this is because this is the case I found for my Switch, and I really love this case. It's a perfect design. It has a very nice hard case on it, but it's also kind of slim and minimal, and you can store a bunch of games inside. I really love this case. It's from kind of like a third party. But anyways, when I bought the Switch 2, I really wanted to find a case similar to this one. And I found something that I think gets the job done and is just equally as good. Again, it's from a random company. I'm not even going to pronounce that. I don't know how you even... Yeah. It's a hard case again. It's not like the same kind of cutout design. It's just a flat... Sorry about the dirt. Oh my gosh. Anyways, yeah, hard case. Nice interior. Keeps it safe. And you can store a bunch of games in here. Really nice. Keeps it very safe. Gets the job done. I like it. I also decided to get a travel case, because sometimes I like to travel with my Switch 2. I think I have a short video. I'll try and leave a link in the description where I show this case off a little bit more, but I'll show you guys real quick. Really nice colors. This is, again, a third-party case by some random brand that I am not aware of. The color scheme, actually, I think was Mario or something like that, or Mario-inspired. It's not official. They had a bunch of other colors, but this one was like the most unique to Nintendo, I guess you would say. You got your two latches here. Very nice, very hard case. You got super nice foam in here. Everything's cut out nicely. Foam on the top. You got space for your Switch 2. A bunch of games. The dock, the Pro Controller, charging cable. You even got space here for these guys to slide in. Pretty cool. And then that extra Joy-Con controller accessory. I don't know what you call this. But that can go in there too. I found this case on Amazon. I think it was like $50. It might have been on like a small sale, but I thought it was perfect. It looked really nice, and I really like it. One of the last things I want to talk about is the Micro Express SD card that you need to get for the Nintendo Switch 2. You can't just use a regular micro SD card, which was a little bit weird. I don't think it's as necessary as when PlayStation said you need to have an SSD. Not every game, obviously, on PlayStation utilizes the SSD, but there were a lot of games, at least at the start, that arguably would either perform horribly or would not be playable at all without an SSD. So I'm not exactly sure why Nintendo went with this. I think an SD micro would be fast enough. Anyways, I've been looking around at micro SD express cards for a while. They're usually in like the $300 range for 1 terabyte. And I noticed GameStop, I don't like buying from GameStop, but I noticed GameStop had a 1 terabyte for $150. And when I looked online, most people were saying that it's just, you know, lower quality. The speeds are like the minimum that the Nintendo Switch 2 needs. You're kind of getting what you pay for. But at the same time, like, it works. There aren't many reported issues or people having to replace this card. So I'll do the testing myself. I'll let you guys know how that goes if I run into any issues. I don't really need to expand my Switch 2 yet, but I'm getting really, really close. I forget how much internal memory they gave you. It was like a decent chunk, but it wasn't enough for like a full collection. But anyways, let me know if you guys have tried this card and if you guys are still using it. Again, like, for the past, I don't know how many months, when I check online for 1 terabyte from a good, reputable company that's not a scam, they start at like $300, and it goes higher than that even. So, from all the research I can find, this is still worth the $150. It should work perfectly fine. But yeah, super odd that this one's so cheap. If anybody knows any more information about these cards, let me know. Hopefully it all works out. I'll come back in a couple months to comment on the video and let you guys know if the card's still working and if there's any issues I found. But I think this will be perfect. Again, if you guys have any more information about these cards and why this one's so cheap and why the rest are so expensive, leave a comment below. I should also note that this card was originally $209.99 and it was on sale for $150. That's crazy. Which brings us to the end of the video. Should you get a Switch 2? That's a hard question to answer. If there is a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive game that you really want to play, then that would be a good reason to get a Switch 2. For me, that would have to be Pokopia. I fell in love with this game. It's so much fun. For me, this would be a Switch 2 seller. The other reason would be maybe you want to upgrade from your Switch. Maybe you find some games are running a little bit slow and there is a Switch 2 version. Not all Switch 2 versions are free upgrades. There are a lot that you have to pay for. Considering the price of the Switch 2, it might be a bit of a stretch to upgrade just for the quality of the games. The Switch 2 also has game chat, which I've totally forgot about. I don't really have any friends that have a Switch 2, so I haven't been able to test out game chat. But that is something I think that is really cool that they added to the Switch 2. You and your friends can get into game chat, all talk to each other, and you guys can all share gameplay at the same time. The frame per second of the gameplay shared is pretty bad, but it does give you just a general idea of what everyone's playing and doing. So yeah, I haven't really tried game chat, but I think it's a really, really cool feature. But yeah, it can be a little bit hard to recommend the Switch 2. If it's in your budget, it's probably worth it. But if you have a Switch 1 and you're having trouble justifying spending that much money to upgrade, then you can probably just save your Switch 1. There aren't too many titles in the future that are announced or coming out soon that I'm looking forward to too much for the Switch 2. Definitely Splatoon Raiders. Definitely gonna check that out. I'm definitely gonna be playing more Pokopia. Anyways, I think that's the end of our little video of my Nintendo Switch 2 collection and accessories that I have so far. If you guys have any of your own advice or tips or questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try and check them all out. There is a ton of content on my channel, lots of variation, a little something for everyone. So go check it out if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.